Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to a new reading vlog, the first one of the year. Happy New Year everyone. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to the year. This is officially my first reading vlog of the year and I am very excited because there are so many books that I want to read, so many books that I want to get to. And one of my reading goals for this year is to be a little bit more intentional with what I read, the books that I pick up, and making sure that those are the books that I actually want to be reading and not read just to read if I'm not interested in the book or just because the book is popular at the moment. If that is not something that I don't want to pick up at the time, you know where I'm getting at. Just being more aware of the books that I'm picking up, what I'm reading, and how fast I'm reading. I don't know if you know this, I've said it many times, but I am not a fast reader. I actually do take my time reading books. Like, it's not like I can pick up a book today and finish it by tonight. It actually takes me a few days to get through books, which is totally fine. A lot of us do, but one of the things that I want to be more aware of is that, and filming the content that I'm gonna film. I don't want to rush the books that I'm reading. I don't want to rush anything just for the sake of finishing books within one vlog, because that's something that I was doing. I love when people start reading a book and they finish it by the end of that vlog. However, sometimes it doesn't work for me like that. I want to be more intentional with what I'm filming, the books that I'm reading, and so on and so on. So with that being said, I know the holidays are over. I'm pretty sure most of us, most of you guys have already taken down your tree, your Christmas lights, everything. The holidays are over. However, there's so many books that I wanted to get around during the holidays that I didn't get a chance to, and I don't want to wait a whole year to wait for the holidays to be able to read those books, because why wait, you know? Sometimes I do that. I tend to hold on a Halloween book because the season is over, and why am I going to be reading a Halloween themed book during Thanksgiving? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? But does it actually make sense to wait a whole year for the season to come around again and maybe not even get to the book again? So one of the things that I'm gonna do is stop waiting for the right season to come around to read a certain book that I'm excited for. From now on, I'm just gonna read whatever I feel like it in whatever season, whatever that is, because that's just me. I don't know if there's anyone out there who does that as well, but me, I'm just gonna change that. Okay, so let's not ramble anymore, and I'm just gonna get to the book that I want to start reading. I've heard good things about it. Actually, Destiny is the one that made me realize that I wanted to read this book. It's called The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year by Ali Carter. I've never read a book by Ali Carter. A lot of people have liked it, so I'm gonna pick it up. I love a good, funny mystery crime solving spy, not spy, but detective story. It's a detective story. Anything with a fun detective in it, it's one of my favorite stories to read and to watch as well, because I'm gonna say it again, Knives Out is one of my favorite movies. I fell in love with that movie when we went to watch it. And if you guys watch my 24-hour readathon, which was the last reading vlog that I posted, I read Everyone, actually have it right here. In that video, I read this book, which is Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. And this one also describes this book as Knives Out. And you guys are not gonna guess it, but this book is also compared to Knives Out. And I'm also not gonna lie when I say I love that they are comparing this type of books to Knives Out, just because how amazing Knives Out was. Like, that story, that movie, everything, I loved. It was so fun and so creative, the way that it was, you know, the story and the detective and how everything falls out. Just love it. I just love it. I wish I could tell you guys that I'm about to sit on that chair and just read the book right now, but I actually have a few things to do and this is gonna have to wait until tonight. I just wanted to say hi, start the video, because by the time that I come back, we're not gonna have sunlight anymore. I'm actually gonna go visit my parents right now and give my brother his first driving lessons, so wish me luck. I hope he does well. I'm hoping he does really well, and I'm very patient. I'm trying to be very patient with him, and yeah, wish me luck. I'm gonna go do that. I'll see you guys later. Is that better? I think that's a little bit better. My hair is giving me so much anxiety this morning. I don't know what's going on. It might be too long. too much, too flat. I don't have a clip with me or a hair tie. If not, the hair would be up by now. The hair is giving me a lot of anxiety today. Anyone else? Good morning, guys. Made myself a really nice cup of tea, which I hadn't done in so long. I found the tea that I really like is the English breakfast black tea, and I added a little bit of creamer to it, and it's so good, so delicious. I highly recommend it if you guys haven't tried it. It's really hot right now for me to sip on. I'm just gonna let it steep a little bit more and, you know, let it cool down before I get to sip on it because it's so hot right now. So the book that I told you guys I was gonna start reading, I don't know if I updated you guys yesterday when I got back from my parents. In case I didn't, my brother did so well for his first driving lesson. I don't think that was the first, actually. He said that my brother-in-law took him a couple of months ago, but you know, you have to keep practicing for it to become a habit. Not a habit, but like to learn actually how to drive. You can't have like one session 3 months ago and then one again today and then the next one in a month, you know. Like he has to keep practicing every single day if he can. So actually I might go back tomorrow. I know it's a long drive, and you know, it's a long drive and gas is not that cheap, but I do want him to learn how to drive. I'm excited for him to learn how to drive, and I was actually glad that he wants to do it, because him wanting to learn how to drive just made it easier for him to pay attention and be aware and listen to me. And you guys, I'm proud of myself because I was patient. It went so well. We did not fight. Like I wasn't sure how he was gonna do, and like I wasn't sure if I was gonna be nervous or, you know, frustrated, but he did great, which helped a lot. And I actually remember a lot of the time when I was learning how to drive and the things that I wish people would have told me at that time. And you know, being patient, and it comes to you, like the first day is not going to be your best day, but he did really well. Like I just thought about the things that I would have liked other people to have told me or like shown me, or the things that I liked that people did teach me and how they did it. Yes, my dad did teach me at the end, towards the end, like how to drive, but actually the person that taught me the most, like technique wise, was my friend's dad. Anyways, that is besides the point. So why am I talking about learning how to drive? Because I mean, we all did it. Most of us did it. I don't know, maybe let me know down in the comments if you guys had a good or bad learning how to drive experience. Now back to the book, something about a crime. I can't remember the name of it, to be honest. The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. That's the name. I am loving this book so much. It's such a fast read. And also I was thinking, I don't read a lot of my Kindle, which is something that I want to change this year. Another goal of mine, if you will, is to rely more on my Kindle and read more books in my Kindle, because it's just so convenient, so light, you can take it everywhere. I've heard people say that the Kindle makes them read a little bit faster, or they feel like they're reading a little bit faster, and I don't disagree with that at all, because I am 40% into this book already. I am loving the characters. So in this book we have Maggie and Ethan, and they are both writers, they are both authors. I didn't know anything going into the book, to be honest. I just knew it was going to be a crime and that they were writers, but it's very interesting because they get to go on this trip sort of thing to visit someone that invited them to their home. At least Maggie has no idea of where she's going, who she's gonna see, who gave her this opportunity sort of thing. They just mentioned it was a big fan, which for me that would have been a red flag sort of thing, because why would you I don't know, like just the fact that they say, hey, your biggest fan is flying you over to England. Okay, I would have said yes. I would have said yes. At least her editor, the person working with her, she knows who it is, so I guess that's not the red flag. Once she learns who the house belongs to, once she learns who the biggest fan is, I don't know, everything just starts falling into place. She thinks that one thing is happening, but it might not be that. So I'm 40% into the book. It's already funny, great. I haven't mentioned Ethan. Ethan is our MMC. He's also a writer, and it is a rival to lover story. And I just love when the male main character just has no idea what's going on, and they just show how much they like this person and they're trying to get closer to them. I don't know, like I love that playfulness, and they have no clue why the other person hates them or why the other person doesn't see them as a like friend or doesn't even want to be near them because they're just so mad at them, so annoyed at them, and the guy has no clue what's going on. I think it's so funny because from the beginning we get to see that he's flirting with her, and he calls her different names even though he knows her name. He names not just her, other people too, but it's just to mess with them and get into their heads. And you know that Maggie is going through it because she hates when he calls her a different name, but she secretly like loves it because I'm over here giggling every time he says the wrong name on purpose, because obviously he knows her name, he knows everything about her, and I'm just over here giggling at this couple because he's so protective and she's aware and she wants him around, but like she doesn't want him around, and he's just there, he's everywhere. And I just love that. I'm looking forward to the relationship, but I'm also excited to see what's going on with the whole crime situation, because we thought it was one thing, turns out it might be another thing, and we don't know what's actually going on. I don't know how I did explaining that to you guys. I think my tea is ready as well, so I'm gonna sit down for the next hour or so maybe before I start cleaning the kitchen, because I have to clean the kitchen. I didn't record any of that. I tried to show you guys the biggest black cat that was in front of my house, and she left. It was a really big black cat. There was also a rainbow over there because it was raining not long ago. It started raining again. It was so cloudy, raining, and then we got a rainbow, which is gone already as well because I just went to the restroom and I came back. The rainbow's gone, the cat is gone, the sun is out now. I think that's gonna be today. It's gonna be sunny and rainy and cloudy and then sunny again, which is fine. You guys, I think I've been on this couch for almost 4 hours, and by now I should have been done with this book, because obviously if I had been reading for that time, I would have definitely been done with the book. But for whatever reason, I just been reading on and off. Like, I'm taking so many breaks. I need to get off social media and just read. I don't know what's going on, like I can't concentrate, but the book is so good. My husband got here and he got me coffee, which was delicious, but now it's been a while and we got hungry, so he went to pick up food for us, and when he comes back we're gonna have lunch, and then hopefully I can get back into the book and finish it, because it's really good. You guys, I was 40% into the book. I've only read 15% more. I have 5 minutes to get out of the house, and I have to do my makeup as well as do this update because I am about to go get my haircut. I sent a text to the girl that cuts my hair yesterday just to see if she had anything available, and she actually had something for today at 1:30. It's 1:16. I have 10 minutes to get there, so I have now 4 minutes to do my makeup really quick. But I wanted to come and show you guys because my hair, I don't know, can you tell? Let me show you. My hair is pretty long right here, almost to the waist. It looks longer when it's in the back, obviously, because it's like almost to my hips, but I really do need a haircut because it is very damaged. So the reason why I decided to get a haircut like last minute is because I might be taking a trip, very important trip, very last minute trip. I somewhat knew that it might be happening this month. I just wasn't sure when that would be, and it seems like it might be next week, so I just have to get things ready very quickly, and that also means that I might not have a video up for a whole week, maybe a week and a half if that happens, but I might talk more about that later in the video if I can. Right now I just wanted to update you guys really quick on what I'm doing today, because yeah, I don't want to come back and show you guys my short hair. I don't think I'm gonna go short. I was playing around with the idea of cutting it short, but I don't think this is the time for a drastic change in my appearance. Even though I feel like it might be, it's not the right time. My mental health is not ready for that right now. So I shouldn't be taking any drastic decisions right now, to be honest. But I also wanted to chat with you guys because I wasn't able to sleep last night due to the trip that I just mentioned. And I literally stayed up the whole night, the whole entire night. I think I fell asleep at some time between 12 and 3 a.m. and then woke up again and fell asleep until 7:30 to 11:30. So my sleeping schedule right now is non-existent. And because I couldn't sleep between 3 and 7 a.m., I decided I wanted to read, and I picked up my Kindle and I read a short novella by Frederick Bachman. I had to look it up. It's called The Deal of a Lifetime by Frederick Bachman. And like I said, if you guys know this already, I've said it too many times, he is one of my favorite writers. I just love the way that he puts words into paper, and even though it is translated, I can just imagine how amazing his writing is in his language. And I really did enjoy the short story. I believe he mentioned it was published in the newspaper back in 2016 when he wrote it, one Christmas Eve, one Christmas Day, around the holidays. It's amazing how you can just be in one moment and you just start writing and it becomes this amazing little story that a lot of people will enjoy. I just did my makeup really quick. I'm gonna put deodorant and head out. I am back from getting my haircut. What do you guys think? I think she did good with the length. Definitely the layers up here made such a big difference with how heavy my hair felt. I didn't even realize how heavy it was until obviously she cut it off. Like, it just, my head feels so light, and I don't even know if that was causing my headaches, but I've been having a lot of headaches lately, and it might have been because of how heavy my hair was. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I do have a lot of hair. She tried to style it. My hair is so flat and so straight. Like, the little waves that she tried to make, they just fell right out. And it's funny because my husband also got his hair cut at the same time as me. Like, he went to his barber like around 1 and my appointment was at 1:30. So copycat, I don't know. You guys tell me. The last clip was a little bit chaotic. I don't even know what I said. I'm pretty sure I haven't mentioned that I finished reading The Most Wonderful. So like I was saying, The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. I really did enjoy the book. I thought it was quick and funny. I actually did enjoy the fact that it was super short, because I don't know if this would have been a good long book, just because it would have dragged and there would be more space for more explanation. And I think the idea of it was to keep it short and sweet. That way we didn't have to ask so many questions and the characters were not fully explored to the point that you're asking questions about them. It's just enough information to get by and enough information for us to believe what's going on. If you guys have read this, I don't know if you guys noticed, the way that the crime was solved by our two main characters came out of nowhere. Not out of nowhere, but it was like they were following clues and they were in the middle of things, and by the end they're like, okay, let's gather because we already know who did it. And I was like, wait a second, I was still trying to figure it out. I was still trying to piece things together. I thought it was one person, but at the end I was surprised. But then I was surprised, but then I wasn't, because obviously we know that one of the characters from the group that we have has to be the one that did it, or has to be the one to blame, if you will. But yes, at the end it's like information that we get, but we don't get the full information and we don't know exactly what happened and how things went. Everyone seemed to be the suspect except for our main character, Maggie. I think Maggie is the only one that I wouldn't be like, I think she did it. If you guys have watched Knives Out, I'm gonna spoil it, but at the end you know that our main character is technically the one to blame for. The main character, the nurse, she's the one fully being blamed. You think she did it, you want to believe she didn't, and then everything unfolds and we understand what happens. But in this case, our main character, Maggie, I think she was the only one that was really not a suspect, because we were following her and she didn't even know where she was going to at the beginning of the book. Like, she came to the house as a surprise. So after that book, I ended up picking up The Wishing Game. I was waiting for the Christmas break to pick it up because I was gonna have time for it, and the time has come to an end. I actually go back to work this Monday, but I wanted to pick it up before the winter ends because this just seems like a great whimsical magical story to read during this time. And I do have to say, I am on page 66, part 2 of the book. I do have to say that I was not expecting this book to have so much adult content. It's nothing like smut or anything. It's not that kind of adult content. It's more of like vocabulary and things mentioned. For example, the word sexy and the word corn came up in this story. I was not expecting that. And even though we do have a 7-year-old little kid, orphan, who our main character, Lucy, she's a teacher's aide. She's 34, I believe, and in her classroom she has this little boy. His name is Christopher. He's 7 years old and he doesn't have parents. He's in the foster system and she's trying to adopt him, but unfortunately she doesn't have the financial support to be able to adopt Christopher. And even though Christopher loves her and would like to, would like Lucy to adopt him, she just can't. She's trying to figure it out, but it seems like it's not going to be possible for them to be together as a family. But then during this story, there's a famous author who used to write children's books, and I think of the Magic Treehouse. That's the vibe that is given me. But this book is also very heavily inspired by Willy Wonka. So the author has been retired for a while now. He hasn't written anything anymore, and then one day he decides to write maybe one last book. Is the only copy there is, and he invites 4 people, I believe it's only 4 people, to come play and be part of the contest and win that one copy that is the only one. It will be the only one that there ever was, and there's gonna be a contest. I don't know if they're gonna fight for money as well or just for the one copy. And it's very fairy tale, whimsical, magical stories inspired, so that's why I thought it was gonna be a nice, like, Narnia, Willy Wonka, Harry Potter, even the Night Circus per se. I thought it was gonna be that kind of vibe, but it's like adult and children's book together. I don't know if I explained myself well. I'm on part 2 of the book. I think she's about to go to the island where the thing's gonna happen. I'm gonna read a little bit more tonight from this. I do have some friends coming over right now, so I am gonna head over to the kitchen to make dinner for us, and after that, if I do have time before bed, I am planning on picking this one up. Alright guys, where are we in this video? I have no idea. It's been such a long time since I started this video. A lot has happened since the last time I saw you guys, but for you guys there was like no time in between. Let me just catch you guys up on what happened, because I believe that I started this vlog early January, if not the first weekend of January. It is February 17th. And let's just say, like, it's been more than a month since the last clip. Long story short, at the beginning of January, I started this reading vlog, and then I had a trip that I had to go on last minute. It was kind of like I knew it could happen, I just didn't know when it was gonna happen. And then I got back, and for whatever reason I was trying to get back into reading and I just couldn't get back into reading. I just was in this like reading slump, which I didn't want to be in a reading slump because I had just gotten off of my like 1 year long reading slump, and I really truly did not want to fall back into it. And the book that I was reading was not helping. Like, that book gave me no incentive to go back to it, and I think that's where I went wrong. I told you guys that I started reading The Wishing Game by Meg Schaffer. I think it was my fault for not reading the synopsis before and believing this book was gonna be something else, and I think that's where I went wrong, so my bad. But this book ended up not being what I thought it was gonna be. The fantasy side of it is supposed to be whimsical, magical. There's a lot of like Willy Wonka slash Peter Pan, all these fantasy worlds that we see and we love and we just hold dear to our hearts. But for whatever reason, the tone of the book just seemed flat to me. I don't know if it was just me not getting into the book. I don't know if it was the audiobook, because I was listening to the audiobook. It was just not what I wanted it to be at the moment. So I decided to put it down. I never got back to it. I am 90 pages into the book. I am not gonna DNF it. I left this on my nightstand just in case I want to reach for it and I want to read it. You know, like, it's just there waiting for me. I do want to pick it up soon though, because I don't want to forget what happens in those 90 pages. So it's just gonna stay to the side. I am not gonna DNF it. It's just gonna be there for a bit. So because I knew I wasn't gonna pick this one up, I knew I wanted to get to another one of my books that I had for my January TBR because I really wanted to read this book. So I picked up Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelley Velpent. I love this cover so much. It's so colorful. For whatever reason, this year blue is like part of my life. I don't know what to say, but I just love this blue. It's all dirty because I've been reading it, and I do have to say that I am reading this one very slowly. I am on page 150, almost halfway through it, and I am really enjoying it. I was so surprised because, as you guys know, I don't like to read the synopsis. I don't know what it is about me. I just like to go into books blind, and this was one of those. A lot of people have really good things to say about it. I did not know that we were gonna get the point of view of an octopus, and that's probably one of the big things in this book, because we are following this creature that is in a aquarium, and we get his point of view, like, of an octopus. We know that these creatures are very smart, and obviously like that kind of like comes across with us getting his point of view and the things that he does and him escaping from his tank and what he's doing. And I love that point of view because he's aware that he has so much time left to his life, and he's counting down the days, or counting up the days of his life. And I don't know, it's so interesting, but obviously there's more to it. We also follow a 70-year-old, and her name is Tova, and she lost her son when he was 18, or he was about to turn 18, to this accident. They couldn't find him. They said that he was probably dead. It was a sailboat accident. They found some of his clothes and stuff, but they never found him exactly. But they decided to call his death, and she has had this grief for years now. She doesn't know what happened to him. She wants to know what happened to him, and she's kind of looking for answers, but at the same time she kind of like stopped. And she works at the aquarium where our little friend lives, and there's gonna be a connection because octopus might know something that could help Tova. But we also have another character whose name is Cameron, and he is about 30 years old, and then we're also following his side of the story. And it's those kind of books like you're following all these characters from different places, and you don't know how they're gonna connect. You don't know when they're gonna connect. I was lost. I was like, it feels like I'm reading two separate stories, two separate books, if you will. It's the same story, but Tova and the octopus, I forgot his name, they're in the same storyline. And then you have Cameron, which is also probably part of the same storyline, but he's like over here. So Tova and the octopus, they're in Seattle, and the aquarium and all the like sea life thing over there. And then we have Cameron, who is in Modesto and on this side. And I think it's funny because technically around the same area, so he takes an airplane from Sacramento Airport, and like that's where I fly out of, because like the Sacramento Airport is like 15 minutes from me. So I love that side of it because like I am so close to the areas that they're talking about. It is very character driven because you're just following their lives, you're just getting to know them bit by bit, little bits from their past. And right now I'm at the point where they're finally going to connect. So it is a very slow, I would say it's a slow read. Like there's nothing like, oh, I need to get back to it until right now. I feel like the first 150 pages were very slow, in the sense of like I wasn't eager to get back into the book, so I put it down and then I pick it up. And yeah, so far so good though. I am enjoying it. I'm gonna continue reading this tonight, so it's gonna be fun. Right now I have an appointment to go get my taxes done because it is tax season. I'm having coffee right now, but I think I'm gonna meet my husband because his gym is just around the corner, and the coffee place that we go to is like around the other corner. So we might go get something to drink, something to eat. I think I'm also gonna film a book haul later on, but I don't know if that's gonna come up before this one. I think the vlog is gonna come up before the book haul, but those are the plans for tonight. I am going to do a lot of filming today, but I do want to get more reading done. I'm gonna make this really quick because my battery is gonna die. I also knew the lighting wasn't gonna be that great, but here we are, guys. Welcome to the end of the vlog, finally. I didn't mean for this vlog to be this long. You know, sometimes I record things and I don't even know how much footage I have, and yet here I am making one last update for the vlog because I wanted to let you guys know that I finished reading Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Bell Pent. This cover right here, still love it. I hadn't noticed that Tova, our character, is right here. If there is one word that I could use to describe this whole story, all of these characters, just like everything in this story, it would be closure, because that is exactly what we get from this story, and that is exactly what our characters are searching for in the story. They get closure, and I really like that about this story. I thought it was very compelling, charming, beautiful, heartwarming. It was a very surprising ending, because earlier I did mention that this book is a very slow-paced book. I could go hours and days without picking it up, but you know, I knew it was a good story and I wanted to see how both characters would connect and why we are following these two characters. But then there's also Marcellus, the octopus, who is in the aquarium, and one of the things that I really liked about his character, the octopus, is that we get his point of view, and he is the only character who has a first person point of view in the story. The rest of the book is told in a third person point of view, which was very interesting to see Marcellus and connect in that way with Marcellus and feel empathy for Marcellus, because when they found him, he was hurt. He was taken to the aquarium to heal, and unfortunately he was just meant to spend the rest of his life in the aquarium. And I just really liked the ending because he creates this connection with Tova, because Tova works in the aquarium, and just the connection that Tova and Marcellus had was somehow very beautiful and heartwarming, and that ending was just like one of my favorite endings. I really enjoyed it. I also enjoyed Cameron's character development. I thought it was very well-rounded, if you will. Yeah, it was a beautiful story. And then another theme that I enjoyed from this book is the theme, or the idea, the concept of a mother and a son. All the women in the story have a son. They are mothers, they're gonna be mothers, they become mothers somewhere or another. And the idea of them raising a son, giving birth to one, having one and losing them, having one and having to give them away, not having a son but having to take care of someone like a son, and just the idea of motherhood in this story, very interesting. If I was to write an essay on this book, it would be about motherhood and the mother and son relationship and everything that goes on in the story. Very interesting. Really enjoyed the book. I didn't think I was gonna recommend it, but after those last 130 pages, I highly recommend it. And there was another character that I really enjoyed him. He just added so much character into the book, and that is, what's his name? Oh my god. Ethan. Ethan was such a funny and good character to have around in this story. He added so much character into the story, and his accent, everything. I really enjoyed his character. He was one of my favorite characters, actually. And Marcellus was actually another one of my favorite characters. I mean, just an octopus. That was very interesting. Really enjoyed the book, actually. And if you guys are looking for something like that, I highly recommend it. I'm really glad I got around to it. And with that being said, guys, this has been a very long vlog already, so I'm just gonna wrap it up, leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.